Work hard. Be somebody. Yeah. And be something more than what you see in the mirror. Yeah. Let the world be your mirror. Don't let them judge you, because the mirror can't judge you. You judge what you see in the mirror.
Been on a trip too long, had to whip too long, lean back on a late into this too late.
What's up, YouTube? It's Tyreek Knight, and you're tuned into Ty's Life. We're about to be getting into this video, man. Yo, Carleton, man. My brother played on this team for 2 years. Like, I'm not surprised about this video because I live in Canada. You know what I mean? My brother been playing on that team for 2 years. Like, I know how good they are. Like, they've been dominating it's called CIS for 10 years, probably more. You know what I mean? They've been beating USA, like NCAA teams. You know what I mean? They've been beating all types of teams. Low D1, mid D1, high D1, you name it. Anybody that's there, they either beat them or they came close. And more times they beat them. So, like, they beat Alabama with Colin Sexton, shut down Colin Sexton. He didn't have a lot of points in the game. I remember that. My brother was talking about it. I don't think I watched the game, but yeah, he didn't really play well. But they were talking about more about this. But yeah. So you guys that don't know about Carleton, you guys are about to get educated on this. After this video, you could be surprised, like, damn, how are they beating all these NCAA teams? But, in Canada, we have some teams down here, man. Carleton is one of them. You don't want to play them. You don't want to play them before your season starts, because you're going to get embarrassed. Like, Canadian team. What? Yep. They've been in NCAA teams. You know what I mean? But, yeah. I feel like I've been talking for a while, so we're about to get into this video. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they have their own Popovich over there, Dave Smart. Dave Smart's probably is the best coach in Canada by far. I don't know, but I can't even say by far. I shouldn't say by far. That's kind of disrespectful to the other coaches, but he's the best coach in Canada. But yeah, that's great. Let's get it. Yo, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Smash the like button too. Might as well do that too. Feel me? Sorry if I talked for so long, but
we should have learned last year that we shouldn't be playing this team.
Blitzed Wisconsin in the first half. They blitzed Louisville. They blitzed Syracuse. They just jump on teams. If you're not used to playing like that and preparing for it, that's what happens. You get blitzed, and we're another victim of that.
When you think of the current most dominant college basketball programs, it's probably big names like Duke or Kentucky or UConn that come to mind. Not a school in Ottawa, Canada. But the Carleton University Ravens have all those teams beat. They've won 15 of the last 18 national championships. The man who built that program, Dave Smart, won 591 U Sports games as head coach of Carleton while losing just 48.
Yo, this guy, he snaps. My brother would tell me stories about how you get on people in practice. Like, but I feel like to be a good coach, you have to do that sometimes. Like, you have to get under the people's skin. Some people are gonna react to it different ways. Like, they're probably not gonna. Some people can't take it. They will leave the school or whatever. I don't know if I've seen that before. I don't think I've seen that before, because they know Dave Smart's a good coach. They know, like the proof is in the pudding. Like, they won 10 championships. What he's doing is right. You know what I mean? It's not just like he got good players. Like, he got good players, but he turns them into better players when they leave. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Honestly, he's a great coach. So whatever he does, maybe you might think it's out of the ordinary, just screaming in someone's face, saying all these things, but it works, man. You got to get under the people's skin and allow them to push them to their best and to their potential. You know what
a
I mean?
93% win rate. Clearly, Carleton has dominated Canada, but they've also had significant success against American teams. During a typical summer, a select number of NCAA teams travel up to Canada for foreign tours, playing against local colleges. While on these tours, American teams have routinely struggled against Carleton. The Ravens regularly beat up on NCAA opponents during the month of August. These are technically only exhibition games, and the American teams do have some built-in excuses. NCAA practice time is limited during the summer. The exhibition games are played with a 24-second shot clock. Coaches use them to experiment with different lineups, and obviously Carleton has home court advantage. But all that being said, it's pretty hard to make excuses for a 62-point loss, which was the margin of victory for Carleton over Mike Dom's South Dakota State team. South Dakota State, which was the margin of victory for Carleton over Mike Dom.
Alright. It's my brother right here, Troy Knight. Went for 11 points. Solid. Yeah. Team, I'm telling you, like, everybody scores on their team. That's the one thing. They get everybody involved. They have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 guys in double digits, which is tough. Which is good. Like, they have their starting lineup and their 6-man with over 10 points. Like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And everybody else is solid. Like, if they're not in double digits, they have like 6 points. You know what I mean? Something like, but everybody's involved. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons. But nah, South Dakota, I don't even know what happened. They probably just wasn't used to Dave Smart like system and on defense. Like, their defense is pretty unique. Like I've watched their games, and the system of defense, like if you haven't got pressure like that before, or you haven't, like, if you're not used to it, you're not going to be able to be successful. Because, yeah, I was looking at the highlights with Colin Sexton, and he looked like he could not make anything. Like, he still scored, like, I think he got him like 16 points, but I think he took like 13 shots to get his, or 13 or 14 shots to get his 16 points, which is not good. So, yeah. Yeah. Their team's defense is pretty solid, and their offense is pretty solid. As you can see, everybody is scoring over double digits. Like, a lot of people are scoring over double digits. So, yeah. But 113-51. Oh my gosh! Like, come on, that's crazy. You shouldn't allow anybody to do that to you if you're South Dakota State. Honestly, but I mean, it is Carleton. Like, I'm not really surprised, but Carleton's like that.
State team. South Dakota State would eventually go 24-9 that year during the regular season. Carleton has also beaten highly ranked competition, like in the summer of 2013, knocking off a Wisconsin team that would eventually go all the way to the Final Four. Perhaps the biggest sign of respect for Carleton is that teams avoid playing them altogether. When Duke traveled to Canada with RJ Barrett and Zion Williamson, they played 3 other Canadian schools, but not Carleton. Duke didn't return their call. One of the reasons American teams have so much trouble is Coach Dave Smart's very unique defensive scheme. Carleton is well known for forcing opposing players left to their weak hand, but the defense is much more sophisticated than just that, and we'll get to those details later in this video. I'll also discuss at the end how the defense might translate if it was used at the highest levels of basketball like the NBA, including Smart's own opinion on it. The defense certainly worked against Colin Sexton in Alabama. Sexton shot just 4 for 13 from the field while being kept to his weak hand.
Took like 13 shots.
Bell is a proud sponsor of the Toronto International
Probably got most
Film
of his
Festival
points
and
from
the Lisa's Living Room International
free
Film
throws.
Festival. And the
Yeah.
Jay Wright called it the most unique defense he's ever seen, and even flew Smart out to learn more about it. After the 2019 season, Smart actually stepped down from his head coaching position, but the 13-time national champion still plays an active role at Carleton, currently serving as the director of basketball operations and sitting at the end of the bench during games. And regardless
Yeah,
of his
you
job
bet.
title,
Bet.
Smart's defensive philosophy is still being used to suffocate Carleton opponents. Before we jump into that philosophy and how it compares to other unique schemes like Virginia and Texas Tech, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for future videos. For even more X's and O's and analysis, we have a college basketball newsletter linked down below. The Carleton defense is all based on their opponent, taking away the offense's strengths and making them rely on their weaknesses. Since basketball players are predominantly right-handed, a majority of the time that means influencing the ball to the left. That's not always the case, and Dave Smart is quick to correct those that oversimplify it to just a forced left defense. But it does sometimes produce possessions like this one where the ball never even gets to the right side of the floor.
They're doing everything right. They're timing everything. Once the guy goes baseline, there's one guy there stopping him from getting to the basket.
A lot of people talk about it like it's a weak hand defense or it's a forced left defense. And yes, there are places on the floor where we want people to go where they're weakest in terms of their ability to pass, but we're not forcing anybody anywhere early. We may be pushing them certain directions and dictating a little bit, but we don't want to have many help situations.
Here's a graph of the 17 other teams in the OUA, the league Carleton is a member of. It shows how often each defense forces a driver left during an isolation. The league average is over 52%, which might in part be because of Smart's influence on his peers and Canadian basketball as a whole. Other teams use the forced left concept, but Carleton does prefer to outright force the ball to a weak hand. When the ball's below the wing, towards the corner, or on long closeout situations. Long closeouts are unique because the opponent already has an advantage to begin with. So Carleton players close out aggressively on the strong hand to take away the shot attempt while also forcing the driver into the designated help area. It's these scramble scenarios where they want to predetermine where the drive is going in order to get back to even, allowing all 5 players to be on the same page with their
brother
rotation.
right there. Straps.
Bell is a proud sponsor of the Toronto International Film Festival and the Amy's Couch.
That brother in the help defense right there.
The other situation where Carleton will completely force the ball weak is in or near the corner. The geometry of the court makes this an especially difficult area for a right-hand driver to make a play on the baseline. It's the same exact concept Texas Tech uses in their no-middle defense. When the ball's in the left corner, Carleton and Texas Tech both operate under very similar principles. Defending to a weakness actually isn't about scoring, it's about passing. The Carleton defense forces you to regularly make this off-balance skip or hook pass with your weak hand.
If you can't pass at a high level, you can't play. Our big thing is just trying to figure out where people are comfortable passing and where they're not comfortable passing and make them always go to a place they're not comfortable passing. It's not about whether they can score or whether they can't score. It's about making them go where they need to get them going so that they're always passing it from a place they're not comfortable from.
Even when these passes don't result in immediate turnovers, it's still much harder to accurately pass to the shooting pocket with the weak hand. Just a few inches too high or too low can affect the shooter.
On target, on time is the key to winning. It's the key to losing if you can't do it. So making sure that people can't pass it on target, on time is going to change the whole dynamic of the team.
It's all cyclical. The more difficult they make the pass, the easier it is to close out on the shooter to their weakness. And then after a successful closeout, the cycle repeats itself over and over again. If an opponent does get to their strong hand, the Carleton reaction isn't to overhelp. Again, the main point is to take away easy passes. So instead of giving the handler an easy line of vision for a right-hand pass, the help stays at home, and the on-ball defender just has to fight to cut off the drive.
So if you're watching this and you're trying to be a coach, pay attention. If you're starting up a team or something, like, this type of defense is the best defense. You're forcing people to make hard passes and to make quick decisions. So once you have your team doing that, it's very hard to win against them, especially if you're starting from like if you're coaching novice or whatever, and you just teach them the simple. The defense is not even that hard to even like understand. Like, I feel like if you take a kid that's like very young, like novice or whatever, and they learn that type of defense, they can adapt to any other defense if they go to different teams, and they'll just be a great defender when they get older. They're just gonna grow because the defense you taught them at that age. So if you're starting up a team, definitely focus on this video, because I'm telling you, like, kids need to focus on the defense, and like I feel like there's a lot of players that just like watch the mixtapes and stuff like that, but are not actually like working on their defense, and they don't think defense is as important. But when you're a coach, focus on that defense. Watch Dave Smart's defense and study it. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a team that's like number one in Ontario. I'm telling you. What's their defense is, if you're putting this defense on kids like that, come on. Instant W's. That's Coco.
What Carleton doesn't want is to get too extreme with their foot angles. It doesn't happen often, but occasionally ball handlers can snake back into the middle off their weak hand drive. That's where the distinction between forcing and dictating is important.
That's really all you can do.
When the ball's in the left corner, Carleton looks like Texas Tech. But when it's on the right side, they look very different. Funneling the ball to the middle like a Virginia or San Diego State style pack line defense. You'll also see Carleton swarm the ball like the pack line, building a wall of defenders against dribble penetration.
Charge. He should have kicked that out.
Bell is a proud sponsor of the Toronto International Film Festival.
I'm telling you, because they
and
collapsed
the
the key,
Jones
you're going to have to
International
kick.
Film Festival.
And if the team's on a good three-point shooting team, you have to force them to shoot threes. That's what you want.
Most offensive schemes start with a set of base principles. Texas Tech keeps the ball out of the middle and helps with the lowest defender. Virginia plugs the gaps and helps early. There might be some opponent-specific tweaks made to the base defense, but the foundation stays the same. Carleton's scheme takes the inverse approach. The base principles are first and foremost determined by the opponent personnel.
Our defense is based on the individual players and what they like and don't like doing.
Not only does the on-ball defender need to know which way to guard the ball, but the other four defenders also need to process that information in real time and act accordingly. Carleton players are extremely good at executing. With the IQ and awareness to understand the game plan and rotate correctly, not to mention the intensity to give multiple efforts on each play. Scheme is important, but so is hustle.
Just right. You got there right on time. See, that's my brother right there.
The Carleton defense will also give different forms of help depending on the player. Against shorter guards, they won't help as early, allowing the ball to get deeper in a spot where shorter players tend to struggle passing over longer defenders. Again, the scheme is all about passing. You'll see this a lot from Carleton, a player pointing to communicate the help. In this case, the scheme calls for late help with the stunters staying at home.
Good bucket.
They'll also treat off-ball players differently depending on their skill set, like sagging off of nons, which is Smart's terminology for non-shooters. This isn't really unique to Carleton. Most defenses use a similar concept to give extra help, but their defenders are always weighing the player with the ball against the player they're guarding.
He's not even that tall either. Like, it doesn't even matter what height you are. You should be able to shoot open shots.
There are even some exceptions to their weak hand rules. In 2019, Ryerson's leading scorer was JV Mukama, a tall wing looking to create his own shot.
Yeah.
He shoots the ball with his right hand, but prefers driving left. Because of that, Carleton forced him right. It's exactly how Smartis said he would guard Kevin Durant, a player who's also at his best scoring to his left.
This guy
Usually
right
the
here,
scheme
Miles,
does revolve
that played
around
with him,
taking away passing
kids,
strength,
I feel like he's
but
the only
a tall
one that
score-first wing can warrant an
that could
exception.
really that could adapt to Carleton's like defense. Because usually with Carleton's defense, like you'll
Speaking
get
of NBA
buckets off of
players,
just
here's
driving
what
and
Smart had
kicking
to say about James
trying to
Harden
get to the
enforcing
middle,
NBA talent
trying to make
a
something
weak
happen.
game.
Like in the
Like getting in the
NBA,
key.
it's not a case
You
of
can't get into the
whether
key,
James Harden can
kick it
make
out.
that play going to his
Most
right
of the
hand.
times,
It's
you're not
how
gonna-
much of a difference is it
not
in
gonna
terms
succeed
of
on
on
their
target on
offense.
time when he's going left
Miles is
as
good
opposed
at
to going
driving
right.
and kicking
If it's a
and
big
getting to the
difference,
basket.
you have an advantage over everybody who doesn't force him to make that pass going to his weakness.
But even then, when
On
you're good
ball
at that,
screens,
it's still hard
Carleton
to
has
score
several
on
different
Carleton's
options
offense. You're not
and
gonna,
usually
you're not gonna
change
have
their
30-point
coverage
games against
multiple
Carleton.
times within a game. But their shock and
Definitely not.
under coverage is the most unique, with the big briefly jumping out to
You're gonna have
provide
to
some
work to get your
resistance
buckets
on the
for sure.
handler, while the guard slides
matter who you
under
are.
to beat the ball to the spot. The shock and under coverage is one of the reasons why Carleton dominates a specific defensive statistic every single year. Of the 1,300 plus American and Canadian college teams tracked by Synergy Sports, Carleton ranked first in this particular stat in 2019 and second in 2020. I wrote all about that mystery statistic and why it's so important to Carleton's success in our latest Hoop Vision newsletter, as well as some final thoughts on Dave Smart's defensive philosophy in the larger context of college basketball. The link is in the description, so make sure you sign up for that if you're not already. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.
That defense, though. So that's it for the video, man. Yo, I like this video, to be honest. I'm not gonna be biased because my brother was on the team, but I know their team is great, and everybody in Canada knows, but not much people in America. If you haven't played against their team or whatever, like you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know about Carleton being this good. So yeah, because if they played in NCAA, I'm telling you, they would go to March Madness and do some damage. So that defense, it's not easy to score on. Definitely not. If you're not used to that type of defense, you're gonna struggle for sure. You're going to struggle. Like Colin Sexton, you have to put up 13 shots to get 16 points. You're gonna have to work for that 16 points. You know what I mean? You have to work for that. But like, comment, subscribe, share. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to react to more videos like this. I haven't been reacting to NBA videos because I keep on getting copyrighted. I don't know why. Like, I guess the NBA videos, like, that's not supposed to be reacting to those videos, I guess. I don't know. If you're a YouTuber and you react to NBA videos, you don't get copyrighted, and you found a way to not get copyrighted, hit me up, man. Or say something in the comments, because I need help. Because I'm trying to react to NBA videos, but I keep on getting blocked, copyrighted, you know what I mean? When I start making money on YouTube, I can't have that happen. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share, you know what I mean? Stay blessed. Yeah. Live life. And I'm out. Yo, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Smash the like button too. Might as well do that too. Feel me?